Let's cut right to the chase. Creative people are pretty nuts, and I know this because I'm one of them. If you're like me, you wonder, how do people get over the issues we face? That's what this show is all about. Think of each episode as a warm bath for the soul. We're all in this together, so let's do something good with the time we have left. This show is my love letter to the human condition. This, my friends, is Sentimental Illness.
Wow. Okay. So, first things first. I reconfigured my room. Nobody really cares, but I'm going to tell you a story anyway. I reconfigured my room because I'm doing a lot of audiobooks now. And I took my computer out of here, which means it's about 20 degrees cooler, which is very nice, even in the wintertime, because it gets very warm in the booth. That being said, all my stuff, if you're watching this on video, if you're watching this live or on YouTube later, all my stuff is down here, which means anytime I want to talk to my guest actually face to face versus the camera setting, I am looking down here, which is weird and embarrassing, but it's the nature of the room. And it also means I'm probably reading from a script or something that I wrote. Anyways, let me say a few things. This whole voiceover thing has been a very different experience from what I expected. I have always been what my friends called a cartoon guy. In fact, my father-in-law calls me cartoon guy because I'm always making strange sounds with my mouth. That being said, this whole booth thing has definitely changed the trajectory. I can't even say it. The trajectory of my life and career, because all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of business, which is great. So I'm very grateful for this booth. Thank you, God, for the blessing of this booth. Yes. And the friends that have supported me over the years, but things are really going well right now, which is great. So that's all I have to report on that. Gosh, I've got to read my notes here. The audition thing is weird. I am 58 years old, and to be in a place of momentum where things are starting to take off for me at this stage of my life is very strange because, well, like anyone, I have a dream, and I've had dreams of different types of careers and things that I were hoping would work out that never seemed to quite align. And here I am in the later stages of my life, and things are going pretty well. So yay for that. Anyway, to the guest today. This gentleman is from France. The band is from France. And here's the thing. I want to say something about this that I probably should say more often, but I want to make it very clear about the band that I'm featuring today. I'm going to probably make some mistakes in pronunciation because even though I supposedly know how to pronounce the names and the names of the band and the names of the songs, in my haste, I may make a mistake. So Michel Teyssier is the man behind this incredible French progressive band, and I love what I've heard. The band Fields of Næcluda. Again, I'll let Michel pronounce it again one more time to protect it. But it is something very special. Now, I know I say these things a lot, but here's the truth. I have really good ears. I was a professional musician for over 25 years. I've been playing since 4 years old. I have produced records. I have mixed records. I have been a part of a lot of that. And this is an incredible recording. This is a fantastic band that's really making waves. And when I heard them, I just could not believe what I was taking in. There's something very special about it. They've taken the best parts of a number of different bands that I'm sure have either influenced them or that they heard when they grew up or whatever, but they have a specific type of sound that is immensely appealing to me. And for that, they deserve all the accolades. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be interviewed. They deserve for you to know them. And a lot of people have asked me over the years, why don't you have celebrities or famous people on the show? And the answer is, I've had many, but I can't, well, I'm not rich or famous or connected enough to just have celebrities, okay? And the reality is, as much fun as that is, and as interesting as that is, and maybe as exciting as that is for me and for you, the listener, the reality is they're already established people. And I have always had it in my heart as a bit of, fighting for the underdog, helping those come out from where they are so multiple people can hear them and enjoy them because they deserve it. And that is the case for Fields of Næcluda. I don't really know what else to say about that. I've written a lot of things about the band. Actually, let me just read what I wrote. Let me do that. This is what I wrote yesterday, thinking about the band. I wrote, today on the show, we are digging deeper into the music I love the most. Today's featured artist and his band is a French progressive rock band that brings some of the most incredible and delicate music I've heard in quite some time. Now, when I say delicate, I don't mean soft. I mean musical choices where the ideas are there and the band, through compression and dynamics, feeds you this musical data one morsel at a time. If you're a fan of Porcupine Tree, Haken, Temic, Dream Theater, all the prog rock stuff, guys, I'm 100% sure you're going to love this. And that is what matters to me, is that you're discovering this with me. Incredibly performed and written, this could be and should be your favorite new thing. I think that's true. So I'm going to bring the gentleman on. And again, because everything is backwards, all my gear has been switched. So I keep wanting to go over here and it's over here. So, hey, let's try this. And don't laugh at me as I try to bring him on. So here we go. All right. Walking on. Ladies and gentlemen, dialing in all the way from the middle somewhere of Europe, southeastern France, my new friend, Michel Teyssier from Fields of Næcluda. How are you doing, brother?
Fine, and you?
I'm really good. I got a little dry mouth going on this morning, so I'm going to take a sip, but it is fantastic to host you. And let's get to you, my friend.
And now it's time for self-diagnosis.
All right, Michel. Before we talk about the band, tell me a little bit about you. You don't have to talk about your upbringing. You don't have to talk about your hometown, that sort of thing. But I am always curious how a musician becomes a musician, how they come to be. And it's usually a combination of how you were raised, meaning what you heard in the home, if your parents are creative or artistic in any way, or you were surrounded by a community. So if you may, share a little bit with my listeners why you became the musician you are and what drives Fields of Næcluda today.
It's a good question. I think I'm a musician because I have to. It's
right
really, really a need for me. And studied music was 3.
Wow.
My father was a musician not a professional musician, but musician. Was playing trumpet, and I started with saxophone for 10 years or something. And then I quit saxophone to play bass with my friends and play rock because it was much cooler than
Yes,
saxophone.
it is much cooler. Yes, it is. Very true.
And then started making my studies in music. In France, it's a conservatoire, but was a school where I learned to play jazz. I learned to write and read music and understand how chords works together. And then became a professional musician. It's
Yeah.
a big resume. It's long story short, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. No, it's important. I love, so are you, if I may, this is not necessarily intended to be a personal question, but it's a challenging one, which is, do you see yourself as a professional musician, or are you a person who plays music when they're not working?
It depends a lot. In France, we have a system that allows us to be professional musician, and you have a certain amount of date and concert to do to be paid for 1 year. I will not explain exactly how it works because it's very complicated, and even in France, it's something people doesn't understand. But to make this, I have to play in a lot of bands.
Wow.
Sometimes it's playing double bass with a singer in some kind of traditional music. Sometimes it will be a cover band. Sometimes it will be jazz. And sometimes it's fields of Næcluda. And in fact, it really depends of which concert or band I am playing with. Sometimes it's work, and sometimes it's just pleasure, And it really depends of what we're doing and the condition.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For most of my listenership who are living in America, we don't have programs here, or at least I'm not aware of, programs that pay musicians if they hit a certain criteria, or programs that are designed to help the musician develop. And I've noticed this. There are a lot of amazing programs in Europe, in France, in Denmark, Sweden, Finland, where a number of bands that I know basically are paid at least a portion of money by the governments for these social programs to encourage the arts. And it seems to me that that's what you're talking about. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is one of those moments that proves that America doesn't have it all together because we have no such thing. There's this belief here that, have you ever heard the term pull yourself up by your bootstraps?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So in America, we use that term a lot, and it's basically, it's an old-fashioned way of saying, I'm not going to help you. You have to figure it out yourself.
Okay.
The difference is, what people don't know is that the term actually comes from the idea of slave traders who said to the slaves, well, if you want to do something, you need to do it yourself, but doing an impossible task, nobody can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. If you're sitting on the ground and you grab your bootstrap, you're not going to stand up, correct?
Yeah.
And so that terminology that we sort of thrive on here about toughening up our children or raising them to be completely independent is actually founded in slavery and hate. So what I'm trying to say is, we're a country that seems to pride ourselves on self-starters, individualism, and drive. But what we're really saying is, we're not going to help you and we don't care if you fail. That's what we're saying. And that is one of the weaknesses in America, as far as I'm concerned. There is a creative edge that comes from Europe in general that we will probably never have, because we don't like a system that helps people. We like to hold people down so we can be on top. That's what we love here. And it sucks. No comment?
No comment.
That's too dangerous.
For now, we are very lucky, but we'll see in 10, 15 years. I'm not sure it's gonna
change.
It's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
It's linked to the politics, so it's
Hmm.
very complicated.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean I think the world in general is very complicated right now, more so than ever. Because you and I are both old enough to see what we've seen and to say things have changed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
So tell me about the band, Fields of Næcluda. How did the band come together? Are you childhood friends? Is this a recent endeavor? I've kind of kept it open because I want to discover the band through you.
Well, I started working on the band in 2018.
Okay.
At first, it was a solo project, kind of. I was writing songs on my computer, and then I'm started to think maybe I can make something with it. And I started recording some tracks, and I just met with the drummer this time, and we recorded the first album, just the two of us. And then we started to play live, so we needed a guitarist, and then the pandemic arrived, so it was not the best time for make a band. Let's say the birth of the band. Well,
Right.
and after the pandemic, I finished to write the second album, Ubuntu, and then I changed again the drummer and the guitarist, and now we are friends, and it's a little bit easier. Let's say,
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you write all the material yourself, or is it a band endeavor?
For the two first albums, so Fields of Næcluda and Ubuntu, I write everything. We worked on the second album for 1 year with the band to adjust some little things, but it's 95% what I've written in the first place.
Yeah. So before we talk about the music, tell me what does Fields of Næcluda mean to you? Meaning, I've read definitions, but I would actually like you to explain to me why you came up with that name and why do you think it represents the music so well?
Well, for me, Fields of Næcluda is
Or
kind
do you
of
think that?
another place. A place where I can put whatever I want, and a place where kind of heaven, heaven, a safe place where I'm fine when I'm in it. It's quite the first idea I had with the band, and literally, like it's the fields of the cloud tree, and I thought it was. Enough dreamlike to make the idea clear to people. Okay, come with us, listen to our music, and you will be fine just for the time we're playing or you're listening the music. That was the point.
Yeah. And it's totally what happens when you sit down. I've listened to the entire album, the Ubuntu, and I love it. I mean, I really, really love it. I feel very fortunate to have heard it, and I think it deserves a very, very significant place in the pantheon of modern music. It's really lovely, and big congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Did you think this is where you would be? Meaning, when you're younger, as an example, I started playing drums when I was very young. So by the time I was 8 or 9, I had really developed quite a bit of skills to the point where I was 10 or 11. I was playing at a very high level, and it got me a lot of attention. But I also felt that it was destiny, meaning that it was just a matter of time before I would become this incredibly well-known musician and I would change the world and all that other stuff. But I also, looking back at it, now I'm 58 years old. I look back at it and I say, I was so naive that I thought it would just become an automatic, meaning that I was just going to be a somebody in the business, when you and I both know that all the talent in the world, all the right intentions don't necessarily guarantee anything. Do you, as an adult now, did you expect to be here at this stage in your life, or did you think you would?
No,
Hmm, okay.
I didn't think about that. When I was younger, of course, was thinking, yeah, let's do music and be stars, rock stars. But the life just put you where you have to be, and
Yeah.
I really think I am where I need to be right now. But I wasn't expecting to be a star or something. It's not the case right now. I think it will never be the case, in fact, and
Mm.
I've problem with it. I I really feel fortunate to have the chance to make music, to live with music, and I think it's enough. If I
Yeah.
can make much more things, okay, let's go. But it's quite a chance to be here and to say yes. My work is playing music, create music, and it's perfect.
Yeah. You're correct. It is perfect. It's another one of those things I talked about at the top of the hour, this American idea that is built into us culturally that says, if we set our minds to it, we can be anything.
Mm.
And I get that that's the human condition. We are all striving to do something more. But there is a strange cultural experience, at least in my world, that said, if you are exceptional at a young age, there's a really good chance that you're going to go somewhere with it, that it's again a destiny thing. And I think we mistake that a lot, for celebrity and money and influence. And what you just said is so important, Michel, because you are telling me that music is about the experience and about the joy and the love of it. And that is enough, that it's not about the other things. And I wish I had had that perspective when I was younger, you know?
I wish too, but it's just a little bit late for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
true,
we
but I'm
need to.
hoping somebody hears it. I'm hoping some young person hears this commentary and says, okay, maybe I need to be in this because I love it,
Yeah,
because of the ability to do what I can do is enough, that is the blessing, that you don't need to be rich or famous to have done something extraordinary as a creative person.
you're right.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Tell my kids I'm right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the band, is it your focus right now? I mean, I know you're doing promotion for this new record, but is Fields of Næcluda, is that your everything right now, or is it just what you're focused on at the moment?
I'm focusing on right now because I've little bit time to do it, and it's the right time because the album is about to be released.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm working on a lot of projects, and Fields of Næcluda is, of course, my baby, and the most important in the bottom of my heart. But I work with I don't know how to say it in English. It's
okay.
Senegal, with a band in France and Senegal,
Okay.
with a Senegalese singer.
Wow.
And this band allows me to pay my rent and and my
That's
bills.
good.
That's very good. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time too. So I have to juggle between the two bands. Depends of what is on the thing. If you have a concert or a tour with
Yes.
it really depends. But at the time, I'm working a little bit more on Fields of Næcluda.
Okay. So is Senegal, because Senegal is a French-speaking country, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Is that why you work with musicians from that nation, or is there another connection to Senegal?
No, it's a connection between friends. At first, the instrumentarium was percussions, guitar, vocals, and oud. And after the person who was playing the oud left the band, I was recruited to play the bass instead of the oud. And the band was already formed, and they had already a tour on Senegal. So it's just a question of circumstances.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things my listeners like to make fun of me is about the fact that I rarely comment on lyrics or, the words of the song, what somebody's trying to say. And it's because as a rhythm player, as a drummer, that is what I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to the rhythms and the transitions and the arrangement, the way the music moves versus what the music is saying. But I am curious, if you would, what are you trying to say with Fields of Næcluda and particularly Ubuntu, this new record? Do you have a comment that you're saying about the world or an experience?
Well, Ubuntu, the point, do you know Ubuntu philosophy?
I don't, but I mean, I've heard the term before, but I don't know why I've heard it. And I for people who are making fun of me right now, I purposely did not research this because I wanted to ask this. I wanted to ask this question. I wanted his answer, not my answer. So please tell me.
So it means I am because what you are. So there is a question of interconnection between people.
Yeah.
And let's say in the album, I'm just trying to say that we are all the same. And of course, we wasn't raised in the same country, in the same our parents didn't have the same money, if you want, the same job, or we don't have the same culture, but we all faced the same things in life. It's love, it's the feeling to be alone, death, sadness, whatever it is. But I really think we are all making this kind of same path in life, from birth to death. But as we're all different, the timing is different.
Yeah.
But we are just it's almost as if mankind was just one person, because we face the same things.
Yeah, the human experience,
Yeah,
regardless of circumstance, wealth, power, culture, religion, struggles, joy, sex, addiction, all the things, we're all in the middle of this pile of experiences, and we're all either trying to survive it or to thrive in it, right?
absolutely. That's it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So then is the record telling us this? I mean, are they chapters of ideas, or is that just the overarching theme of the album?
The album, the track list is in a way it's kind of story. Just have
Right.
to listen the album and from start to the end. And the idea was to reach this feeling of Ubuntu in the end of the album.
Yeah.
So you just make all human experiences between the album.
Yeah.
That was the point.
That's good. That's very good. So you seem very put together. Do you know this term, put together? Basically, the idea that you don't seem to have too many issues. You seem mature and well thought, and just satisfied with this moment right now, that you are enough and that you're grateful for your life experiences. Am I on track?
Yeah,
Does that
absolutely.
kind of make sense?
I'm old. That's it.
Well, you're not as old as me. I am 58.
Right.
I don't want to ask you your age, but do you find it's easier to be a musician now when you have nothing to prove, or do you feel like actually now you need to prove it more than ever?
No, the point is, I don't think, and it's not in a pretentious way. I don't have to prove anything to someone. I just have to prove something to me. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to be someone better, but just, okay, here is Michel for today. And I hope I could be a better Michel tomorrow. That's it. Just it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a competition or something. There are a lot of musicians that are much better than me, and I don't have to fight just to say, hey, look at me, I'm playing well. It's not it's not my point.
Yeah. Do you think that's a Michel thing or a French thing? The way you think?
No, I think it's a Michel thing. I met with a lot of musicians in France, and there are a lot of musicians which are in competition. It's the same for all country. There are a lot of people trying to prove you they are better than you. It's quite in music. It's something you see quite often.
Yeah. This desire to be seen as superior, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, kind of thing.
Yeah, music is not a competition, but it is interesting how somebody will say, "Oh, that's the best musician, the best guitarist I've ever heard," and then they'll be asked to rank the guitarists, and I'm like, why? Why can't it just be good because it's appealing to you, not necessarily good in a technical way or good in album sales or something like that, but just good because it's fascinating and it hits your ears the right way,
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah. That's why I love your band, by the way.
Thank you.
Because it hits my ears the right way. It's the kind of music I want to hear when I'm driving through a beautiful place, a national park or something like that, where I have an hour to just listen to music and see beautiful things. And I just really love it. I hope people will go out and buy this new record, and certainly research the band and follow it online, because I think it's extraordinary. I have to say that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if I may, as we're nearing the top of the hour, what I'm curious about is not what you're trying to say, because you've told me that. You've told me this idea about just the human experience and kind of why can't we get along, and let's just share these moments together. But do you have a part in you, a drive in you that wants to be remembered? Meaning that, as an example, I do this interview show because I genuinely love bands like yours. I believe people need to find out about them. But secretly, my hope is that someday my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, will find this recording online, and they will say, that's my grandpa. That there's something about leaving a legacy for them to hear, for them to witness and experience, because I don't have any of that with my grandparents. I like leaving this behind for them. And I'm curious, is the music for you? Is it for us? Who is it for?
It's a good question. I think when I write music, it's for me. I will not lie about this. But when it's released, the music does not belongs to me. So
Yeah.
It's for you.
Yeah.
So it really depends the time of the timeline,
Yeah.
At first it's for me, of course.
Of course.
And so it's just only for me, because I'm just working. Oh yeah, this riff is cool. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay, this chorus is cool. Okay. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, okay. And maybe I just erased some songs that could have been more kind of bangers of whatever,
Mhm.
but it didn't please me. So I changed my mind,
Yeah. Do you have, this isn't a religious question, but is there a faith involved? The things you are mentioning to me are things that I often hear, who people of faith will say about the human experience, meaning, why can't we get along? There's something good on the other side of this struggle. The positivity of what you're speaking. And so I guess what I'm asking is, do you find that music is like a church for you, that you are preaching quietly, but that you are preaching your music, that you are preaching a message?
I will not say I'm preaching something. I just expose my thoughts. I can say it like that, but I'm not trying to convince anyone.
Yeah.
Just this is my point of view, and I really think there's a lot of beautiful things in life, in this world. We don't need to wait for the other world, to have to find good things. But that's it. I'm not trying to convince anyone that I'm right. Or if you think the same thing, well, it's cool. It's perfect. It makes things easier to understand us. But if it's not the case, well, it's your point of view.
Yeah.
I keep mine, and we can still be friends.
So true. But see, I think that's what makes you so special, and that's what makes your band, your music, and this moment special, because Michel, because you are in the middle of it. that you aren't trying to make a scene, that you are not trying to say something, that you are just offering your musical soul to us and inviting us into the pool. And that's a lovely thing, and it's actually far more rare than I think any of us want to really know, because humankind is so separated and polarized right now. It's not just Americans or Palestinians and Jews. It's the world. We're all in dissonance right now.
Just puts so much time to just focus on what's make us different, and just put a little energy to just focus on where we are the same, and the difference will not be that important. That's the point. The different, okay, we have difference, of course, because I am me, you're you, of course. But at the majority of it, we are quite the same, and that is the thing we should have in mind, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. Man, I should have just hit the end button right there because you said it exactly correct. I guess the one thing I want to ask you before you go, this is kind of a cheesy question. It's one of those street side questions that people ask when they don't have anything else to say. But, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you think is your legacy? Do you think, well, I won't. I actually started to lead you. I realized I shouldn't do that. So what would you say is your legacy, the best thing you did with your life?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's not to me to say that. It's the people that will be here after me that could say, okay, that was Michel was this or this. But I don't know what is the best thing I made here, and I hope it's a little bit soon to discover it.
Well, yeah. Okay. So then I'll end with this. This new record, Ubuntu, comes out November 8th?
October, tomorrow.
Okay. So, that's right. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am very excited for listeners to check this out. Fields and Næcluda. It is an utterly fantastic record. I am not blowing smoke. I admit when I've had other bands on, I haven't necessarily enjoyed it as much as I might have said, but this is not true about this particular act. And I think here's why, if I may end this way. This record is a record I wish I had written. It's beautiful. It's incredibly well performed. It rocks when it needs to rock. It's quiet when it needs to be quiet. It's just provocative enough to keep one excited when they're not sure where it's going, and the stories are beautiful. So I want to say thank you, one, for being here today, two, for writing this really wonderful work, and I wish you tremendous success. I think you absolutely deserve it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Sentimental Illness with Rob Leland. Our theme song, Machine, has been graciously provided by Harris Heller. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast media. You can directly support the show on Patreon as well, where you can find us at patreon.com/This is Sentimental Illness. It also helps us a lot if you rate the show online, so jump out there and give us 5 stars. And lastly, always remember, your mind will overthink everything, but your heart can never love enough. See you soon.